I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. I want to go ahead and welcome you into the class. We're talking about driver's education. How can this help you? What you need to do. And then we will go from there. Let me get this audio right for you guys first, and then we'll roll out from there. So be patient with me. Test, 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 test. All right, I guess you can hear me pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and roll with that. All right, so I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Today, we're going to discuss what is driver's education like the first day. It's very exciting. It's extremely nervous. It's kind of sloppy. But when you teach teenagers or young adults how to drive, there's nervousness, excitement. People are calling parents of their loved ones to make, can I drive tonight after class? Can I drive this Friday? So I'm going to take you through the process. The first thing you need to see, your instructor needs to have a curriculum, right? This is the Traffic Safety Education Teachers Resource Guide. This is the state certification classes. You have materials in here, you have tests, you have quizzes, you have worksheets, you have videos, you have DVDs, you have Kahoots, you have Quizlet. All schools should have this type of resource where you're going to get a lot of information to prepare young drivers for the road. What does this sign mean? What does this sign mean? This is a yield sign, right? It becomes a stop sign if there's cross traffic. What does this mean? This is a regulatory sign. This means no U-turn. What does this sign mean? This is a warning sign. This is warning you that you need to reduce your speed. It's slippery when wet. All drivers need to know these things. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to look for. Now, what I want to remind you of and what I need you to think about is a growth mindset, right? It's a growth mindset. My mind is set for growth. A lot of beginning drivers just don't really mentally prepare themselves for driving. What do you mean? Well, you're going to have to commit your time, right? It is for educational purposes, Jacob, but I can give you a modified version. Just let me know, reach out to me. You have to have a growth mindset because this is where instructors, as well as other people, get a chance to see you grow up, right? You grow up to become a driver. It's responsibility. It is serious. So I get a chance to see young people mature. I get a chance to see adults mature, where they're making time in their schedule. Well, oh, I work on Saturday. Can we drive on Sunday? I have some time open. It's 11 to 1. Okay, I can make that time. So when they come up to sign up for driving, you see all this energy in their face, right? They're nervous. They're scared. They're excited. You see the deer in headlights. As an instructor, those are the days I live for, right? To guide you, to help you. In my class yesterday, I scheduled you're welcome. I scheduled all of my drives for 6 weeks, and that's a commitment of time. And I want to show you the calendar for a second. Okay, this is the calendar. Okay, we're on the 28th, right? This is the 28th Tuesday. For a month and a half, drives are scheduled. I'm driving during the week. I'm driving on Saturday and Sunday. It's a commitment of time. And some people can't make this commitment because they are nervous or they didn't plan for it or they have a child or mom and dad have to pick them up and drop them off. We as instructors try to help students, and that's where that adult responsibility comes in. I'm more than willing to help students. Hey, can you drop me off after my driving lesson? Sure. Hey, I can drive 6 to 8, but I'm going to need a ride. I'm at work. Okay, I'll have my student drive. Thank you for the thumbs up. I'll have my student drive to their job. Then when they're done, we'll pick them up and then they'll drive and then drive themselves home. Good instructors are very passionate. Good instructors are willing to work with you with the schedule because sometimes your caregiver is at work. You're driving schools across town. They drop you off. We can't get back to 9:30 at night. So we all have to lay out our schedules. So my schedule, I'm booked for all of April and the beginning of May. So it's serious, right? And I'm making a commitment, right? And that's that growth mindset. You have to have this growth mindset to have fixed growth. Do you really want to drive? When we were signing up students today, some kids did not want to drive 7 to 9 in the morning. I'm not upset, but do you really want to get done? We have to get students done in 6 weeks. It is serious. So every state is different, but we have to get students done within 6 weeks. They have to have 3 drives scheduled during the first 3 weeks of class. So I took time yesterday. I scheduled all of my students, and I'm doing backup driving for another 14 kids. So that's that commitment. But when do you have time to yourself? I have time now. I have time Friday. I drive Saturday all day. I drive Sunday all day. I take breaks in between, go home, recharge, get prepared, and improve. So that's that growth mindset. Okay, does your instructor have that growth mindset? Some instructors, oh, I just want to do 10 hours, a couple hours during the week, and that's okay, right? I'm at the peak of my career, and I want to grow, and I want to develop, and I want to learn about my students. How do we become better? Now, I'm going to bring you more value. This is the mindset. I want to show you this testing in progress, right? You're testing yourself to get better, to become a better student. I teach in class and behind the wheel. You're going to learn the what? You're going to learn the rules. You're going to learn the rules of the road. You're going to learn what these signs mean. You're going to learn what that signs means. This is real knowledge, and good schools have a curriculum, a state certified curriculum that will allow you to be successful. And that's one of the look fors. If you're an adult learner, you want to refresh your course. COVID kind of held you up. You're 19 to 24, 25. You don't really belong in a teenage class. You want to have private lessons, maybe a group of 18 to 24-year-olds. Your needs are different. You might have a child. You might have to work. So I've driven students like that before, right? So I want to continue. Now, it's about choices. You have to make choices. Making every decision carefully. I laid out my schedule until May. I double checked it. I triple checked it. I made a couple of mistakes, but you have to double check and triple check because you don't want to double book 2 students. You want to take your time and make sure your students understand and learn, and you give time for yourself to mentally relax because driving in itself can be stressful. And many of you are saying, how do you teach beginning drivers? It's a choice. I want to make my decisions carefully. I know my limits. I know my strengths. Number 2, thinking everything through responsibly. I can't drive 10 hours every day. It's not humanly possible. In the evening, when it gets dark, beginning drivers are very nervous. They're very overwhelmed. So I don't really want to drive beginning drivers at night. Okay. Although it gets dark about 8 o'clock. So that 8:30 to 10:30, it could be a little dicey, but I talk to my students. I need 2 people to drive 8:30 to 10:30. I take a half an hour break. I go 7 to 9, 9 to 11, 11 to 1. Then I take a break. 3 to 5, I'm chilling, hydrating, eating, relaxing. Okay, answering your comments. Then I drive 3 to 5. Then I take a break. Then I drive 6 to 8. Then I take a half an hour break. Okay. Then 8:30 to 10:30. This lifestyle is not for everyone. Every instructor can't do it. So what I need you to understand is you have to pace yourself. You have to have that relationship with your instructor. And that goes to our next point. Exercise your freedom to choose. There are multiple instructors. If you have a class of 20, 25, we can have 36 in person. Online, 20. That's a lot of hours. You got to get these students done. They've got to sign up for driving. They might put down the wrong time. So a lot of moving parts are going on, and you have to teach class. Okay. So that's where that organization comes in. Of, hey, I have class 6:30 to 8:30. I'm going to drive 2 kids this week, Wednesday and Thursday, 8:35 to 10:35. It's all about working together. And that's what a good instructor will do. They will work with you in the scheduling, and you got to be sensitive. You have to have your kid gloves on. Okay, this goes to my next point. Deciding what is right and doing it. If you sign up for driving, make the commitment. My first day of class was yesterday. It took about 35 to 45 minutes. I signed up all of my students. I'm now at peace. I'm at peace. They're scheduled, okay? And if you have to make changes, it needs to be within 24 hours or there's a cancellation fee, because time is valuable. You can't put a price on time. So when you make those schedules, make it work for you. It's about choices, okay? And then let's go back to testing in progress. You're being tested. And for some people, this is hard, right? Because someone is watching you in the classroom. You need to finish your study guide, because if the teacher is not good in the classroom, I'm talking about driver's education or anything, then you're going to suck on the road. Yes, I said it. You're going to suck on the road because you want to understand pavement markings. You want to understand how to parallel park. The classroom instructor and the behind the wheel instructor need to work together. And if we don't work together, kids will struggle. Kids will crash. Kids will panic. And this goes for the same thing for adults, but we handle it in a different way, right? We internalize it more. Where your younger drivers, they have the emotions right on their sleeves. Okay. I can't tell you all the eyes that looked at me when I walked in the classroom. Oh my God, that's my instructor, right? Because my classroom instructor, he's got 25 kids, right? Those are a lot of hours. And I've been there in the classroom with 22, 25, 27. And you do feel alone as an instructor. Okay. I'm sorry, we don't have any backup drives. You got to try to do your best. And you manage. You take those breaks. You hydrate. You can't drive every single hour of the day. You've got to use the bathroom. You got to go get something to eat. You got to shut off the car, close your eyes, and relax. That is the real deal. If someone is telling you different, then they're a workaholic. And some people work like that. I'm going to work 100 hours in 3 weeks. Well, you're going to have a heart attack. You're going to have a stroke. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to be snapping at the kids. Then you're going to have complaints coming into the office. So you have to learn to manage your time, because student drivers learn at a different rate than adult drivers. Adult drivers learn at a different rate than drivers who've been driving 10, 12, 14 years. So there is a difference. And COVID has intensified, okay? It's about choices. It's about mindset. COVID has intensified the growth set. Why? We have a group of students who are 19 to 24 years old who don't drive, who are scared to, who are out of high school, going to community college, working a job. They want to drive. They may have a child on the way, and it gets complicated. And trying to schedule someone who has a child or is working is very different than setting up a 16-year-old or 15-year-old, because mom and dad, hey, I can drop them off. Can you drive them home? I've been on both sides of the situation, driving to 12 o'clock at night. And that's a grind. That's a true commitment. But you can't do that 3, 4, 5, 10 years, because you will burn out. You will have a heart attack. You will fall asleep at the wheel. I'm telling you these real journeys. So when you guys sign up for driving, you can look into your instructor eyes and say, I understand you. And whatever time you have open, I can drive. And if you say that to your instructor, I guarantee your instructor will smile wipe the sweat off their brow, and tell you to come up. Because if you work hard for me as a student, doing all of your assignments, and I'm showing you this, doing all of your assignments in the official text, and it's a lot of work, signs, pavement markings, quizzes, driving situations, because we have to prepare you for that 80 question test that you have to pass. And if you don't prepare day one, and I'm going back to mindset, if you don't prepare day one, you're going to struggle. And I can tell students on day one, they're going to be a problem. She's going to be a problem. She's more concerned with the boys. He's more concerned with the girls. He or she's not reading. Okay. And because of my experience, I have digital teaching tools that can evaluate drivers. So I know where they are, because I can't talk for 2 hours. You're going to have 45 minutes to work. We'll do a driving educational game. We'll schedule drives. Then a few, maybe that student who was really patient, I'm going to drive you after class. Thank you. Okay. Because everyone comes up, I want to drive. I want to drive. And you get overwhelmed. But some of you are saying, you're an instructor. You're supposed to, but you don't understand behind the scenes, right? You do not understand the commitment to get someone done. And the commitment to get someone done, it bleeds in your heart. Okay. My schedule, I'm showing you my calendar again. Okay. My schedule is set. Okay. It is Tuesday the 28th. For the whole month of April and the second week in May, I'm scheduled. I'm teaching segment 1, segment 2, and I'm doing an additional class for another instructor, because I've demonstrated that I'm reliable, but also I'm trying to keep good mental health. And you got to have that balance, because you want to be fresh. You want to be alert, because let's go back to choices. I'm making a choice carefully. And in the summertime, driver's ed spikes up. Those of you who drive, you're going to see those driver's ed students in the summer. 5 cars, 10 cars. They're going to be out driving. And to the general public, stay away from us. Don't tailgate us. Don't become a Ken or a Karen and hit your brakes and swerve into us and scare us, because that young driver is pure. And a lot of drivers just don't care, and they'll mess with us. And that puts us in danger, and you in danger. I had a young lady making a turn into a private drive. She accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake. Oh my God, I almost died. I had to cover the brake and turn the wheel. These are real things, real stories that you need to reflect on, because anyone can be nervous. Okay. Don't wear slides. Don't wear flip-flops. Do not wear sandals. I'm giving you some of the background information. Again, it's that choice. Okay. Make every decision carefully. Wear a thin sole shoe. I'm not sponsored by Converse. Converse are really good shoes. Crocs are very good shoes. Not sponsored by Crocs, but Croc, if you hear me, Crocs are very good shoes. They're thin sole shoes. You can feel the gas and brake. Okay. You need to be listening. This is bringing you value. Give it a thumbs up. Okay. So let's talk about setting smart goals. When you come into driver's ed, okay, I want to be first in the first week to drive, right? Specify, what do I want to accomplish? You want to accomplish getting driving in the first week, right? You want to get in, get your feet wet, build a relationship with your instructor, talk to them, because it's hard managing 20, 25, 30, 35, 36 teens or 15 adults. They're different personalities, okay? And it's very stressful sometimes. Plus, you have parents coming in and kind of embarrassing their son or daughter, and the kid is like, oh my God. And I understand, I don't say anything, but you can tell the look. In about a week, the class will know my face. You know my serious face. You know my silly face, right? You will know, because You can't pretend to hide who you really are. If I'm serious and I care about my students, you'll know I care. If I'm screaming and don't know your name and out of control, you're like, this is a terrible experience, mom and dad. All he or she does is scream at me. And every instructor is different. I love teaching the classroom portion because I'm a school teacher. I have it very organized. I spent an hour yesterday doing my schedule to May, and I want to assist my driver in the classroom because I made a choice, taking everything through responsibly. I took my time to think about my schedule. What is best for me and my mental health? Sometimes you got to work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, okay, to help. And if you care about people, you will help them when you set up driving, okay? Let's talk about some things you should be looking for to help you, all right? These are some of your look fors. And I'm giving you this secret information to help you understand the quality of your instructor. Number one, learning intentions. Clearly communicates and revisits the goal. Today, we're going to work on right turns. What I need you to do is turn hand over hand into the turn and turn hand over hand out. We're going to make 12 right turns. We're going to make 12 left turns. Then we're going to parallel park 6 times. We're going to do what? I see the fear in my students when I say we're going to parallel park. So I'm giving you some secrets. So what I say to them, I'd like you to pull up next to this car, put it in your reverse, and back up. And most students and adults do understand that, because if you can't parallel park, you won't be able to pass. So you have to know how to parallel park. There's no way around it. Okay. Next, you want to gain and maintain your driver's attention. You'll know if your instructor is one-to-one with you, right? You'll know if they're one-to-one. Are they talking with you or talking at you? Good instructors are always educating you, helping you become a better student, a better version of yourself. And that's really important because there are a lot of negative people around the world who want to pull you down, who want to talk about you. So when we're in the car, I try to build that relationship. Hey, tell me about yourself. What grade are you in? Do you have a job? Because it's bigger than just driving. It's about relationships. So don't let that fool you. Next, okay, is the lesson structured? Are you just driving around randomly? That first drive, we're driving in the parking lot. We're learning how to pull into a stall parking spot. We're going around the light poles doing figure eights, right? We're at low speeds. We're learning how to make right turns when there's less traffic, okay? We're not throwing you out on the main road yet. We're going through neighborhoods at about 15 to 17 miles an hour because it's warmer outside. We have kids playing. We have people riding motorcycles. And that is a definite difference. So your instructor, with their experience, should be taking you into residential areas, should be taking you into parking lots, working on those low speed. I'm going to show you working on those low speed steering maneuvers. And we're in North America. There's multiple ways to turn the wheel. I want to show you this. There's hand over hand. There's hand to hand. Some students drive at 9 and 3, 10 and 2. This is a smaller wheel. This is a wheel specifically for a racing application. I'm not showing you this, but you have to know how to hold the steering wheel. Truth be told, some students make the wheel small and you jerk. So your instructor will take you through. You're going to learn your driving style through mom and dad because you've been watching mom and dad your whole life. You're going to learn through your instructor. Okay, I want to see you turn hand over hand into the turn, accelerate, and then turn out hand over hand. But they do something different in the UK. In the UK, they do hand to hand, and they're driving a manual, and their steering wheel is on the right side. We're in North America. Our steering column is on the left side of the car, and we drive on the right side of the road. It's still the same principle. I do know how to drive a manual, but everyone learns differently. So what your instructor taught you, you're going to have a little sprinkle of that. If your mom drives or dad drives one hand, you might drive like that. If your mom and dad drive with both hands and they do hand over hand in and hand over hand out, you probably might do that. Everyone is a little bit different. So there is no best absolute way. I want all of you to know this. And then you will manage. And truth be told, really, when drivers get fatigued driving a long time, that's when they're more prone to accidents. Okay. So there's other research, and that's another story for another day. Does your instructor give you frequent responses? Can you show me how to parallel park, please? Sure. Switch with me. They'll line the car up, right? I have plenty of videos like that. They'll line the car up. They will reverse. They'll reverse back, pretend they're backing. They'll cut the wheel all the way to the right. The rear of the car goes in all the way to the right by the curb. Once you're halfway, you turn out hand over hand. And that is a pretty deep parallel park. But I want to see you do it 5, 7, 10. That's a lot of work. If you want to get better as a driver, you have to work to improve. Right? Once it's usually around the 3rd parallel park, you got it. So you've got to work hard to get better and improve. Okay. Let's talk about setting goals. You want to be able to achieve. You want to be able to achieve your goal. What are the specific steps to reach my goal? Well, I want to learn how to drive. Are you willing to sign up to be first in the class? Are you only driving when it's convenient for you? Are you going to work with the instructor? Truth be told, you want to get in early, mid-afternoon. The later in the day, the instructor gets tired, you get tired. Anywhere from 7 to 9 in the morning, 9 to 11, 11 to 1, 3 to 5. My sweet time is 9 to 11 and 3 to 5. I've rested. I've had something to eat. I'm good. But I bring in dynamic and positive energy. If your instructor is not bringing in dynamic and positive energy, you're not learning. Okay, you can't just go through the motions because people will see right through you. Next, you want to be relevant, right? How does the goal relate to my long-term goal? You want to be a safe driver. Instructors like myself are teaching you a skill you're going to have the rest of your life. And you have to prepare for it and look at it like that. I just want to drive. Well, if you just want to drive, I have something here that will educate you. Okay. We're talking about the test. You're getting some bonus content. This is bringing you value. Give it a thumbs up. So let's talk about this. If you exceed the speed limit, speeding is an automatic fail. I'm giving you value. And if you watch and learn and subscribe and look through all the videos, you're going to learn how to drive. And then you're going to see the value. If you go over the speed limit, it's an automatic failure. But my mom and dad drive, at 10 over. I'm not teaching your mom and dad. I'm teaching you. And that's what you need to understand. If you have questions, type them in. So you got to learn to drive at the speed limit. If you go too slow, automatic failure. Okay. Number 2, failing to show caution at an uncontrolled intersection. That's number 2. You're getting a lot of value right now. Right? If you're getting value, give it a thumbs up, share. You have to be aware at intersections. Intersections are the most dangerous place, but beginning drivers don't know that. COVID adults who are learning how to drive don't know that. You've got to show them the dangers. That goes back to your educational resources. And if you don't have educational resources, you're not learning. Okay. Educational resources, objectives, goals, standards, then a quick assessment. Can you tell me what you learned? I'm going to give you an entry ticket. Tell me 3 things you learned about last class. I didn't learn anything. You didn't learn? You spent 2 hours here and you didn't learn? You need to re-examine your teacher. And then you need to look at yourself. You need to have a notebook. You need to have several highlighters. I'm going to show you some high quality work. And if you're matching what the high quality work is, then you're going to do a good job. If you're not matching the high quality work, then you're not doing a good job. Set a high quality standard. You'll do well in the classroom. It'll be fun. Good instructors bring in treats. They play games. They allow you to work quietly. They call you up I want to schedule you. Oh, He's going to schedule me. You can see the excitement. And if you have 25 kids up, you're going to make mistakes in your schedule. I've been there before. You're going to write down the wrong name on the wrong date. It's happened. I'm human. But you bring up two at a time. I have a time after class. I have a time before class. I have a time on the weekend. You schedule. And yes, it's overwhelming. I'm making this statement to you. This is Tuesday, March 23rd. Excuse me, March 28th. My schedule from April and May is locked in. There are some adults who don't want to lock in that schedule. No, I just want to drive off 5 kids. Okay. I'm still very hungry, not hungry in the stomach, hungry to teach, hungry to see my students learn, because it's about care and it's about pride. And again, I told you it's about making choices. Number one, making every decision carefully. I'm thinking. Number two, thinking everything through responsibly. I can't drive every single kid. Got to balance it out. Number three, exercising your freedom to choose. I want to drive with the other instructor. That's fine. Or I want to drive with the lady. That's fine. Okay. Next, number four, deciding what is the right and doing it. Get signed up for driving. Why are you waiting? I feel good. My first day of class was yesterday. I signed up all my students. That burned this off of me. I just went in class today. My other instructor, he's still signing up students. I gave him my schedule through April through May. It's like, no, let's just do 2 weeks. I'm fine with that. Everyone is different. Teaching class and driving students is a whole new animal. I was taught to teach and drive because I can control the outcomes in my class. And it is timed based, right? When do I want to complete my goal? We have 6 weeks. You need to have 3 drives scheduled within the first 3 weeks. We want to spread out the drive. Some students procrastinate. Oh, I want to wait till the last week. You're waiting too long. You might not be able to finish your drives. Oh, I didn't know. I got to talk to my job. I got to talk to my mom. I got to talk to my dad. Have those conversations. That's not for me. That's for you to start to grow up and say, Mom and Dad, I have to drive at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, your father goes, can someone take me? I can drop you off early, 10 minutes early. Okay. And that's where you have that grown-up responsibility. Let's get back to what's going to cause you to fail. Speeding is an automatic fail. It is important not to drive too slow. We talked about this. If you drive too slow, you're holding up traffic and you become a hazard. Next, failing to show caution in uncontrolled intersection. You've got to look left, right, and left. If you don't have eye movement, you're going to get marked down. And drivers get very careless at intersections. Next, rolling stops. Well, my mom rolling stops. I'm not teaching your mom. I'm teaching you. Oh, well, my sister took it and their instructor your instructor's not teaching you right. And then when you take your road test, you're going to be, who taught you? Driving with Myles. Oh, he's a good instructor. You did well. Or Mr. John taught me. We failed 5 kids from John's driving school. So you have to prepare for that year and a half out, that half a year. Okay. So rolling stop. Stop means stop. Your wheels must stop moving. Many experienced drivers are in a habit of coming to a rolling stop. You cannot do rolling stops. Okay. I'm here to tell you this. Climbing the curb. You're getting real value. If you're getting value, give this a thumbs up. Okay. You need to be subscribed if you're not already and watching this. Number 4, climbing the curb. Whether you're turning or parking, climbing the curb is an automatic fail. Ooh, we're getting serious now. Your tires cannot go over the curb. Turning or parking, automatic fail. Plus, you're knocking the car out of alignment. You're damaging the sidewall of the tire. And we have to drive this car for 8 hours, 10 hours. So if you're damaging the car, hitting curbs, hitting potholes, you're going to damage the tire. wow, that's a lot of responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready for this. And you see that reflection of some students. And some students aren't ready to take driver's ed. So that's a whole new situation. If you're just joining in, type your question in. We're talking about the road test. Failing to yield to a car or pedestrian. Pedestrians have the right of way. They may have earbuds in. They may run across when your light is getting ready to turn. You need to yield for them. You need to stop behind the stop line. What is the stop line? The big, thick, white line. And if your teacher is not going over the fundamentals, signs, pavement markings, all the things, driver's education, again, traffic safety education, teacher's resource guide. This is how I'm teaching you. This is one of the resources that I have. We're not making this up. We want to make you good drivers. Live your best life. Live your best life when you learn how to drive. Okay? You want to get better. Next. It's really important to know who has to ride away. Beginning drivers, you don't know who has to ride away. Well, they rode the stop sign. Shopping malls, that outer ring. I'm giving you value right now. I'm not going to give away all my secrets. Shopping malls are a great area to take drivers. Why? You have stop signs. You have yield signs. You have private driveways. That outer ring around a mall, half mile around, mile around, low speed, a great area to take drivers. I want to say thank you. Bye.